Land is important to every Papua New Guinean. In every traditional society in Papua New Guinea, land is not just a commodity. Land is part and parcel of the whole social structure. Without land, you could well in fact be regarded as being nothing. Land is collectively owned in all cases. It is not owned singularly by one person or by one family. It's normally owned either by a clan or by a group of people, but in most cases by a clan. It's owned collectively.
Papua New Guinea is one of the last places in the world where the majority of the people, and we're talking of 800 plus language groups, still have traditional tenure over the land that they live in.
This is a very interesting country of very diverse regions, topography, languages, and tribes, over 800 of them. And we're a society that has been able to adjust to changing times whilst holding on to almost probably unchanging principles. And yet we have the other tier of the society gearing up to live with the present, but also working towards the 21st century.
Papua is a mining town. You get to know everybody, you do things together, you have a lot of fun together, and also you work together as one force. Dairy mine contributes about over 50% to the economy of this nation. It means a lot. It creates a lot of job opportunities, business opportunities, and it gives them a lot of meaning in their life as well.
Octary is a classical project. It has its own ups and downs, but it has built basically a permanent town for this area. It has helped the people of this area create a sense of unity and allow other people from other parts of the world to learn what Papua New Guineans can do.
It's a copper-gold deposit. It's quite rich by world standards. Our ore grade here is close to 1% copper, and it averages about 1 gram of gold per ton. That's considered a fairly rich copper deposit.
Ok Tedi has now become the largest contributor to our national economy. It has also played an important role in the development of Fly River province itself.
Ok Tedi mine has got ore reserves that will take us into the next decade.
At the mine, all of our waste rock goes to dumps. We've got a dump right behind us called our Taranaki dump, and probably 15% of the remaining waste in the mine will go over that dump. The vast majority of it goes over our south dump, and that goes into the Okmani Valley, where 60 to 75% of that material will be retained in the Okmani Valley, and the remainder goes into the Ok Tedi and Fly River system.
We get between 10 and 11 meters of rain a year up here on the mountain, and the water is just phenomenal. It hydraulics out big ravines and whatnot, so everything you do, you have to focus yourself around the water issue. If you fly the area, you'll see landslips all over the area, remote from this mine, and that's just a natural part of the evolution of the area.
The mine increases the normal deposition of rock and soil into the Ok Tedi River by 30%. The riverbed is physically building up. 20 or 25 years after the mine is gone, the river will start to scour itself back out, and the river will be back to the bed level that it was originally. So physically, the river will look pretty much like it did before the mine.
Where we've killed trees, it takes longer than 15 years to build a rainforest. From all the work that we've done so far, it certainly looks like the river system will recover. Dissolved copper levels are not toxic in the river. I mean, they are not, by world standards, very, very high or at reaching or going beyond toxicity dissolved levels. This is one of the most studied river systems in the world. We've worked independently right through from the headwaters down to the estuary, and that's something that has never been done on a river system of this scale before. And our findings are that the river system is free of toxins. We are measuring what the impacts are, projecting what we think is going to happen in the future, and allowing Papua New Guineans to make a judgment about the cost and benefits associated with this mine. Without outside development, our babies would still be dying in infancy, our old age would still be considered 50, and we would not be a part of the world community. The mine has brought roads and schools and doctors to the area. It has brought things that our people want.
Well, the villagers are receiving benefits from the mine at this time. But they know that it's not going to last forever. And so Ok Tedi is assisting them by using some of its resources to find ways of how we can prepare them for the future.
The upper part of the Fly River system is known as the North Fly, and the bottom half of the system is known as the South Fly. Now I look after the South Fly area, and looking at in terms of population, there's about 30,000 people living along the system, and I have a responsibility to look after about 50 villages along the lower part of the Fly River system.
We have worked with the 107 villages within the trust area to install solar-powered water pumps, street lights, built aid posts and schools, and these types of programs will continue throughout the life of the mine.
BHP is the main shareholder in the Oktedi mining operation. They have decided to benefit the community in which they work by the introduction of this infrastructure program in the villages. Rubber, which we are trying to develop in this area, does support the village lifestyle to a great deal. Currently, we are paying 40 toya a kilo at the rubber factory. This is extremely important. This is the first time that the people in this area have had what could be termed a cash crop. It is really the only large-scale cash crop suitable for the area.
But just one cash crop like rubber only takes us so far. It's not the answer for a sustainable economy for the province, nor for the country as a whole. What can the project Oktedi Mining leave behind when it leaves? Now we are developing a number of programs through the business development and agriculture. And we're coming up with programs that's going to bring about sustainable development for the future generation of these people. If we want our economy to prosper, we must be smart about the way we use our resources.
We want to participate in the modern world. This means that the government has to make a lot of sacrifices and at the same time force people to understand that if you want development, you've got to sacrifice some of what you have in order to gain. The world is moving forward, and PNG is one tiny little speck in that world. It cannot be made to sit back and watch the rest of the world go by. We have to move with it.
When you look at it and put Papua New Guinea in the context of world civilization, when you think back, really some parts of the country are only about 60 years old. 60 years from civilization. We have tried to catch up with so many things in almost one lifetime. We're trying to pull all these people together. It's very diverse. And therefore, we've got to try to be selfless in trying to build one country by sharing. So we are a very mixed group of very ready, tolerant people, but ready to shape ourselves to meet the 21st century.